All right, turn to some sad news today. Pelé, the Brazilian king of soccer, you could call him, who won a record 3 World Cups and became one of the most commanding sports figures in the last century, has died. He was 82 years old. The standard bearer of what's called the beautiful game had undergone treatment for colon cancer since 2021. He'd been hospitalized for the last month with a number of ailments. In the conversation about soccer's greatest players, Diego Maradona, Ronaldo, they're mentioned alongside Pelé. He scored more goals over the span of his career, but not all of them count in the same way that Ronaldo's did, because some of them were barnstorming trips that he took. This was in the early days of the game in the middle of last century. But if you want to talk about how the sport grew in the United States, Pelé has to be in that conversation. And here to talk about his influence, former U.S. national team soccer player Bruce Murray. Bruce, tell me your thoughts here, sir.
Oh, hey, Bob. Great to be on your show. A very sad day. I think a lot of us saw it coming. There's been reports out that Pelé was not well. But what an absolute icon, GOAT. You can ask anybody. Yeah. He's the GOAT. And, obviously, it's almost as if Pelé had his spell on the World Cup. It's the best World Cup we've ever seen. And now Pelé passes away just shortly thereafter. An absolute icon of a sports figure, not necessarily a soccer player. And you can only imagine if Pelé had the opportunities to go to Europe like Ronaldo and other players, what he could have done.
Yeah, and what he did for the sport, talk about that a little bit, because I'm old enough to remember, I wasn't a soccer player, but I remember the iconic figure he was as an athlete. He had that huge smile. He would go on talk shows. He had this great personality. And he really popularized a sport that was, of course, worldwide very popular, especially in South America. But here in the United States, people started taking a look at it more seriously.
Well, to your point, Bob, if you remember the old NASL, the New York Cosmos were getting 80,000 people at the Meadowlands. Yes. And then they would travel in, and it was incredible. And the biggest teams in the world would come play the Cosmos. So it was a bit of a barnstorming circus type atmosphere. But if I could, I'd like to share a quick story I had when I was on the World Cup team. Right before the '94 World Cup, we all lived together in California, and Pelé came out to shoot a commercial with us. And his job was to be the manager of the little kids, and the little kids beat the national team. And Merlin Olsen was the the great football player was the I guess the announcer for the commercial. But it was absolutely fantastic. And we had just played Brazil the night before, and we literally lost 1-0. Should have tied the game. We had multiple chances, and Pelé was going down the line, and he gets to me, and he looks and he goes past me. He goes to the next player, and he comes back to me, and he looks at me, and in this baritone voice, and then we had this big voice Pelé did, and he said, "Murai, you play a good game yesterday." I could die and go to heaven at that point. So all my teammates, when he left, were all running up to me like, "What did he say?" And he said I was a great player. So he was an absolute amazing guy. And I will never forget that interaction with Pelé. And it was a highlight of my life.
Well, of course, from the GOAT. I mean, when people talk about the greatest of all time, he's definitely in that conversation. So, Bruce, thank you for sharing your thoughts. And, of course, everybody looks on, and we know it's inevitable for all of us, but it's still sad when we reach that point. Pelé passing at the age of 82. Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Thank you, Bob.